one of the reasons why I chose this poem is its relevance. Although it was written by Kipling and refers to, a British army where they wore red coats, nothing's changed. And I actually once performed this poem years ago, and in the audience were some Vietnam veterans, and they had tears in their eyes when I finished. And I suddenly realized that, yes, he got it spot on, Rudyard Kipling. And, things have, of course, changed in certain circumstances, but the underlying philosophy of the serving soldier getting short shrift has, unfortunately, not entirely changed.
Fantastic. Tell me about the tradition of learning poems in England when you grew up.
There was also, this strong oral tradition of, learning poetry at school and so on. I still have, Browning's My Last Duchess, which all kinds of poems that rattle around in one's head. Of course, Shakespeare too. One's, raised with Shakespeare, and if you're an actor in Britain, you don't consider yourself an actor unless you have a working knowledge and experience of Shakespeare. So I'm glad that's there. I'm not sure if it's still the same, where poetry is considered important, and a certain oral tradition survives, where actually speaking a poem is considered something of value. I hope it's true, but it's one thing to read a poem, but to speak it, to communicate it, is something else.
Do you think that, in general or specifically, a poet wrote a poem to be read or a poem to be spoken?
That's a very interesting question. Obviously, Tommy, there's a speaking voice.
That's a clear thing.
You can't, you can't deny it.
Right.
He leaps out of the page at you, and those barrack room ballads, for which Kipling is justly famous, all have these wonderful, narrators, if you like. Maybe there are more intellectual poems that serve us better when they're read. It's a point I honestly can't answer. I think it's apples and oranges again.
Great. All right. Well.